Hey everyone, I'm Devo Primo, and I had the privilege of interviewing Sharon Jenkins, author of Are You a Super Author and the host of Author Central Station on Afrovibes Radio Houston. Here is that interview. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
So Sharon, you've been on Afrovibes for a very long time, but I don't think people really know you yet. Like I feel like if you're a fan of the show, obviously you know her, but like for those who might see her, on whenever her show airs or on YouTube, they just kind of see this woman who is funny. Everybody loves her, but they don't really know you yet.
Oh, wow. So I'm a mystery.
Yeah, scary mystery, huh? So I kind of wanted to take you to the beginning of this whole experience. And how did the Author Central Station start exactly?
Well, I have been working with authors for over 10 years. Mm-hmm. Usually, if I learn something, I want to share it with somebody, and that kind of has something to do with me being a retired educator.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I started seeing people want to write books, or they had books and they weren't selling books, and I was like, somebody needs to give the average man a voice. Because I remember I went to a writers' conference in New Mexico, and it was the very first time I had my manuscript in my hand.
Right.
And I didn't know what I was doing. I just know that somebody told me I had to do this. Okay? So it was a hot mess. I mean, now that I know better.
What happened?
Well, they told me because I wasn't Oprah, okay?
Okay, there's not a lot of Oprahs walking around, so.
Because I wasn't Oprah, no one would want to know or hear my story or read my story. Oh. And it crushed me because I've been writing since I was 8 years old. And I've always been real shy about sharing that part of me because it's so personal.
Right.
And to hear someone saying you're not relevant, at least that's what I heard them say. I got angry. I threw my manuscript in the trash for 6 months. And I went back and I pulled it out and made the decision to move forward with it.
What was the inspiration behind that? You just kind of woke up one day and felt differently?
Well, sometimes we have to recraft our vision because it doesn't quite fit in the mores of the day. So you look beyond yourself and you decide that, okay, what fits? As a marketer, my mind is thinking, what fits in today's world? And so you can tell a story, but you also have to have an expert alongside you. Well, I told my story, and God was my expert in the book.
There you go. There it is.
I mean, you can go to some of the greatest teachings about God and parallel your life with those teachings. Right. And so that's how I ended up doing my first solo project, because I had done a whole bunch of other stuff before then. Because I like practice so I can get it perfect.
Yeah. So what was that point where you actually started helping other authors?
Well, I started helping authors when I noticed I was in a business meeting one day, and I used to be a networking fool. And I like networking a lot because I love people. And the guy asked in the business meeting, will all the business owners please stand up? And I knew that there were authors in the audience, and they didn't move.
They didn't view themselves as a business owner?
No, they didn't. They didn't. And it really rocked my world. And I was like, oh, no, we got to change this. I'm real good at creating paradigm shifts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I started doing networking summits for authors, but it was a little bit before they, got that consciousness.
Now, why is that important exactly? Why is it important for authors to consider themselves a business?
Because they want to sell books. They want to make money. And if you, in today's society, especially in America, in this capitalistic society, if you want to make money, you have to have a plan, a strategy.
Right.
And you have to be willing to get from behind your computer and move forward, or your whatever,
Right.
your tablet or your phone or
Nowadays,
whatever.
any device really,
Yeah,
at this point
yeah,
has anything
yeah.
with a screen.
So, in my journey to help authors, I developed a philosophy, and that philosophy is learn it and share it. Learn it and share it. And I know you don't believe this, but I used to be real shy. So in order to
Yeah,
get
okay. All right.
in order to get over being shy, I took acting classes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I took acting classes, and then I was in some plays, and I wrote some plays. So my journey, I started out as a poet, then I was a playwright, then I became an author. Can you believe I actually did spoken word?
Yeah, that's well, if you're talking about in the time period you're shy, then no, I can't believe that.
No,
But-
no, I progressed.
Okay.
I progressed. So let me answer your question about how I got to Author Central Station.
Mm-hmm.
The number one question that authors have been asking me over the last 2-3 years is, okay, I wrote the book, it's published, now how do I market it?
What do I do at this point?
Yes, yes. And without them having to spend their firstborn's inheritance,
Right.
okay?
Or they're sacrificing their leg or
Right.
Yeah.
I decided that I would put things in place to help the first-time author, or even a seasoned author who just got stuck right there after the publishing. I would help them to become more visible. And so that's why Author Central exists,
Okay.
because it's a way to give that first-time author or seasoned author, get them ready for media training.
Okay, so are these kind of themes that you regularly talk about in the show, as far as like, some of these different marketing?
No, right now we're in this phase where we are just building our listenership. So you got to have people listen to you.
Yeah.
And when you build that listenership, the next phase will be to inform, educate, and inspire. Now, I have a whole series. Matter of fact, the November, December 2017 and January 2018, I was doing Facebook Lives. In the first 2 months, I concentrated on sharing the ABCs of writing and the ABCs of publishing and the ABCs of marketing for authors. So it's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Stay
already
tuned,
been
everyone.
done. Yeah, it's coming. But we're building our audience now. And I have had the privilege of having some great guests.
Now, what goes into selecting guests? I mean, do you have to read the book and vet them and be like, oh, okay, this would be an interesting conversation, or you just kind of, anybody who's interested just hops on?
No,
What's the process?
That isn't necessarily the case. I've been in the community for a while, and so I know who writes good books.
Okay.
So, and then I have a reputation in the community as a person who is the book lady or the literary midwife.
Okay.
So I have a host of people that I work with in conjunction to help them not only write, publish, and market their books, but to also kind of evaluate whether or not, writing a book is for them.
Oh, so you actually help them with even going through the process before they even start writing the book?
Yes. I have a quiz called To Write or Not to Write. Okay. And I realize that certain people, I hear all the time, everybody has a story.
Right.
And that's true. But everybody can't tell a story or tell their story.
So how could someone, let's say they're curious about getting started, how would they get started? How do they contact you, and where do they get this information from?
Well, they can contact me at Sharon at mcwritingservices.com. I have a business, and 80% of my business comes from authors. I also work with nonprofits and small businesses. But my joy, the thing that keeps me up at night, the thing that makes me sit back and go, is my work with authors. I am a master strategist, and this Author Central Station is part of my strategy to empower authors, not just locally, not just regionally, not just nationally, but internationally. So the reason why I chose Afrovibes Radio, internet radio, is simply because there is a need worldwide for people to get a concrete understanding. There are a lot of voices in the marketplace telling them, oh, I can help you write a book. Give me $10,000. I can help you write a book, $20,000. And then there are some people who are prostituting wannabe authors and taking their information and unfortunately using it for their own good. So, I'm kind of like an advocate for authors.
Is there any other platforms that you offer that people can also kind of get connected with and join?
Oh, absolutely. Facebook, Author Central Station. We have a Facebook group, and you have to be an author, published author. And then guess what?
Oh, what else we have?
You just have to have a desire to want to market your book. So we do have a Facebook group.
Oh, it's fantastic. So when can people tune in to Author Central Station?
Well, the fun thing about Author Central Station is you get to double dip with us. Fridays we do the behind the scenes thing.
Okay.
At 5 o'clock, we do the behind the scenes thing where we actually tape the show. So you get to see all the bloopers and all the wonderful things that
I
seem to
imagine there's a
happen.
lot of bloopers.
Yes, and it's really funny.
Yeah.
But we air on Monday at 2 p.m.
Fantastic.
Central Standard Time.
Central Standard Time, everyone. It was a pleasure speaking with you today.
Yes, I love you. Now, do you have a book?
Well, if I do, I know who to go to.
You sure do. I love you. And there ain't nothing you can do about it.
That is.
See ya at Author Central Station.
All right, take it easy, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that special interview. If you want to get connected with Sharon Jenkins, just go to Facebook at Sharon C. Jenkins. You can also go to Patreon at Sharon C. Jenkins. And also make sure to go to Afrovibes Radio to get more on her show and all of her activities.